You are now tuning in to another episode of the DNB podcast. I'm your host, Camilio Salamander, and my co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit. Salamander, I'm giddy with excitement. It's a great day coming off a great pay-per-view. But before I jump into it, as always, how you doing?
Yeah, I can't complain. Today is a good ass day.
Salamander, it only gets better. Well, for me. For you, you might feel a tad bit upset. I love it when the WWE geeks get their feelings hurt. And coming off a perfect pay-per-view that saw the debut of Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, baby, and Bryan Danielson, it only gets better. PWI released the top 500 wrestlers. I have for you the top 10 list. I don't want you to have a heart attack, but you might have a heart attack. Anything you want to say?
I feel like it's gonna be a lot of disrespect towards the Almighty. I feel that's coming.
Let's jump into it and find out. Number 10, Rich Swann from Impact Wrestling. Number 9, Shingo Takagi from New Japan. Number 8, Finn Balor. Number 7, Will Ospreay, New Japan. Number 6, Jon Moxley, AEW. Number 5, Kota Ibushi, New Japan. Number 4, Drew McIntyre. Number 3, the WWE Champion, the Almighty Bobby Lashley. Number 2, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. And number 1, the God of Pro Wrestling, the Cleaner, Kenny Omega.
I disagree.
I know you do. You love to hate on Kenny. You love to hate on Kenny. Why?
Cause I disagree. First of all, like I said in the Kenny Omega and Randy Orton video, he had his time in WWE. He didn't work out. No, he is not better than Roman, and he's definitely not better than the Almighty. Hell no. The Almighty number 1, then Kenny Omega, then Roman.
I cannot allow you to disrespect the God of pro wrestling like this. He came in like a thief in the night with the invisible hand, Don Callis, and stole the AEW championship from Jon Moxley. He then proceeded to take out number 10 on the list, Rich Swann, for the Impact Championship. He is leading the most dominant faction in all of wrestling. With the newest addition back from the dead, like he never left, Adam Cole, baby. And if I remember correctly, didn't the Almighty take a pinfall loss to Xavier Woods? I find it coincidence that the two guys that I say are top in their promotions are 1 and 2. Yet there is the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley at number 3, struggling to even stay there, behind the guy who you say he put to sleep, Drew McIntyre at number 4. But I thought the almighty handled that.
Roman can't win a match without his cousins. Every match they get involved, so his whole title reign is irrelevant.
Oh yeah, almost as
even this past Friday they got involved. They had to beat Fan up in the middle of his entrance because they're not confident. He's not confident. He tapped out to Daniel Bryan. He ain't confident twice.
First off, I
He
told
tapped
you
out the
this.
edge.
I told you my tribal chief didn't tap out. Don't disrespect my
That
tribal
because his
chief.
cousins got involved in the referee.
Number two, isn't MVP helping your guy? If I remember correctly, didn't he trip up Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania? Didn't he help Bobby Lashley retain in the Hell in a Cell?
Bobby proving that he can go a match without needing help.
Not that I can tell.
Matter of fact, Kofi Kingston.
Matter of fact, didn't MVP hit Goldberg in the knee with the cane at SummerSlam? I think your guy has just as enough interference to retain titles as the head of the table.
Not every match. Every match, Roman needs help. He needed help when he was with the Shield. He needs help now.
If I remember correctly, he sent Daniel Bryan home packing all the way to AEW with no help at all.
Nah, he got help on that one.
You sure? I don't recall. I'm pretty sure he just did what he said he was going to do.
He need help every match. He ain't gonna get help with Brock coming from you. Ponytail Brock. This a different Brock.
It's a different Brock. And your guy has to be worried about Randy Orton, who is so close to breaking Ric Flair's record. I would hate for the Almighty to be a footnote to a question.
Look, everybody gonna be sad because this will be the first time we gonna see the Viper go to sleep. He gonna get choked out on TV like Kofi did, and he gonna go back in line and go back and focus on his tag team with Matt Riddle.
I mean, who has your guy beat? He hasn't beat anybody. Who? Drew McIntyre? That's it?
He could beat anybody. He'll run down the whole roster.
I can't
Nobody
tell.
on Raw could step up to him.
I can't tell. Xavier Woods beat him. Listen to the people that my guy has put away.
He beat Braun Strowman out the company.
Braun Strowman,
Yeah.
The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Finn Balor, and you just have Drew McIntyre and Goldberg, Kofi Kingston, the same Kofi Kingston that was squashed out to what's his name? Oh, Brock Lesnar. 7 seconds. That Kofi Kingston. That Kofi Kingston. Oh, that's right. And you beat The Miz. Your guy beat The Miz to become the WWE champion. Your guy's title reign is a fucking joke.
He can't help that ain't nobody good on Raw. He can't help that the only good person on Raw is Drew McIntyre, so they booked it for like 6 months.
Quit making excuses for your guy. Your guy is number 3 in the world.
SmackDown is packed. SmackDown got everybody. Who Raw got? Who is Raw's second guy? Drew McIntyre, and he feuding with Jinder Mahal. That's it. They ain't got nobody worthy enough. That's why they booking Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley. And Randy Orton's in the tag team right now. They have nobody.
It sounds like excuses for your guy's shitty title reign.
SmackDown got Becky Lynch. They got John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Roman. I don't need to keep going. That's a lot of people. That's like half of the stars that they have. Finn Balor. That's it. That's half of the stars. Everybody on SmackDown. He ain't got nobody good to face. So he got to go through the people. He got to face Drew McIntyre like 20 times and run through everybody else that's little that really don't mean nothing. That's why he feuding with tag teams. It's time for the draft. That's what it needs. That's what it's time.
You know, Salamander, what I'm hearing is a lot of excuses. Instead of just acknowledging the title reign that the bum-ass almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley has had.
He's the almighty for a reason.
Oh yeah, he's the almighty with needing help from a 50-year-old MVP. You know, I remember when the almighty was the United States champion and his title reign actually meant something. It's funny how he stepped up and became somewhat stationary as a champion, not growing. But when you look at my tribal chief, the excellence just continues to build upon itself. And it's hard to do that when you go through Edge and Daniel Bryan. I mean, how can the head of the table, the tribal chief, get better when he's already there? While the Almighty is trying to pick up the pieces that he'll never be able to pick up. Because he's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. To get back to what the real situation here is, though, all jokes aside, the god of pro wrestling, Kenny Omega, is just the greatest performer of his generation. You said it yourself even earlier on. Kenny Omega is just great. You know what you're going to get with a Kenny Omega match. So why are we even debating this? 4 stars at the least. That's entertaining. It's Kenny Omega. Why are we surprised? With the invisible hand, Don Callis. Why are you surprised about
Kenny
this?
Omega get the stars because he's not in WWE. He get to actually explore and produce great matches that's 20-30 minutes long, and WWE just give us 5-10 minute matches. That's why he gets so many stars. When you see something new versus the same stuff you've been seeing the last 20 years, you're gonna give it that new stuff more praise.
Yeah, he was doing this in New Japan.
Yeah, they used to putting on 45-minute matches. WWE would never do that unless it's an Iron Man match. But other than that, they would never have produced a 45-30 minute one-on-one match. You gotta be somebody. You gotta be a Roman or a John Cena to get them type of matches. They're just not gonna do that. They give the other promotions produce matches like that every other match. That's why they get more praise than WWE. WWE get the same stuff. So when you see something better and new than you normally see, you're gonna give it more praise.
So you blaming us because your company's boss don't want to throw out some competitors out there who he probably know can go 20-30, but just say, nah, because I don't see you as a star, you're gonna get this 10-minute match. You're gonna blame that on us?
Nah, Roman don't got many 4-star matches or 5-star matches either.
The WrestleMania match was.
Yeah, one.
So this is Kenny Omega. He's got plenty. He's got plenty. You can do all that slanderous talk towards the head of the table, but when it comes to, by God, Kenny Omega, we all know nobody on this list holds a candle except for my guy, Will Ospreay. And I'm hoping Will Ospreay explodes through the forbidden door and we get Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. Doesn't even need a championship. Just give it to me on pay-per-view. I'll be willing to pay more than $50 for it, especially after All Out. Speaking of All Out, Salamander, I have notes from the media scrum, post-show media scrum. I was very intrigued from what I was hearing. I just thought I'd run some of the quotes by for you, just so I can get your opinion on what you think. Starting off with Mr. Adam Cole. Yeah, they covered his contract situations. And he was just as surprised that his contract was coming up. He wanted to put over his friend Kyle O'Reilly, which was a good thing. This is one of the things he said. When you think about where I was, that was my dream since I was 9 years old. But I knew in my heart pretty early on that I wanted to come here to AEW. It was no knock whatsoever on them. I had a very excellent 4-year experience, but I wanted to come back and work with the crew who I love being around 24/7. A crew that is just as passionate about pro wrestling as I am, and fans that feel the exact same way that we do. So making the decision was a fairly easy one. What do you have to say about that?
First, I would love to point out that I love how AEW have like press conferences after pay-per-views. Really brings a sports feel to it. But I don't blame any of them from leaving. Only thing that's gonna hurt is when WWE 2K22 come out and half of the damn roster from last game is gone. But I mean, it makes sense. You was pointing it out that he was gonna leave and go where his best friends are. Plus, his wife is signed to the company too, so it all makes sense though. But the disrespect of how they try to offer him a manager role after all that stuff that he done did at NXT, I would have left too. But I mean, he's a great wrestler. He did it. He did what he did in New Japan and Ring of Honor and everything. So he's just gonna produce the same caliber matches in AEW. WWE, I don't. It feel like we witnessing the downfall right now. It feel like they are in the shoes of where WCW was in during the Vince Russo days. That's what it felt like. Damn, is he running this shit? Is this why we getting this type of stuff from WWE? Is he really the one behind the scenes?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Continuing on, Adam Cole put over Tony Khan, saying that I know that I love pro wrestling, but you can't help but be more excited and more ready to go and more fired up when you're around Tony. He's an amazing, amazing person. He also said that one of the things he's excited for in AEW is the option of having conversations about different ideas. That just goes to show what we already know with WWE not giving their superstars creative freedom. What did you think about that and Adam Cole putting over that one, just that something that small and from WWE, but a huge deal in AEW?
One thing I'd like about Tony Khan is you could tell when he said he was a wrestling fan, you can tell that he's really a wrestling fan. One thing I do like is that he don't get involved much. You know, I had seen a video where he did like a little segment where he came out and everything, but it was after they was shooting and everything. So he didn't do this on TV, which is great because he's not trying to get involved. He's letting the wrestling do the talking and not trying to, pull the upper authority figure role, that we seen in WWE. I mean, it really shows you the difference in the two companies of what type of wrestling each produce. And basically, AEW keep this up. I mean, they giving wrestlers options now. If you want to make it big, you just don't got to go to WWE anymore. Like, you got options now. They building Impact up by having their involvement in it. So it's not like you got to settle for one and got to do whatever they tell you to do because you want the recognition of you being a wrestler. You actually have options here that you can go to. You ain't got to go overseas. You got big name companies here, which is great for wrestling. It's great for pro wrestling at the end of the day.
Yeah, finishing up Adam Cole's part of it. Tony Khan said that the Adam Cole signing came up over a few days, so probably a couple days before All Out. Adam Cole calls this his favorite moment of all time. Says he's had a lot of moments in his career that he loved and is grateful for, but this one was so special on so many different levels. He said he wants to wrestle everyone on the roster. He specifically put over Darby Allin, MJF, and Jungle Boy. He talked about his Twitch, saying that keeping his Twitch channel was very important. Tony Khan put over Adam Cole, saying that Adam Cole was responsible for their one loss in the demo. Tony Khan saying that this guy scared the shit out of me every Wednesday. That's it for Adam Cole. First, I want to ask you to touch on the Twitch channel. Um, what did you think about WWE just not giving in to Adam Cole, just letting him have the Twitch channel? And what did you think about him putting over Darby Allin, MJF, Jungle Boy, the Young Talent, and also Tony Khan, and how he was scared of Adam Cole during the Wednesday Night Wars?
Uh, First, I don't know why WWE is being so strict on this, having outside, platforms. It's like if you get over it without them, it's a done deal. Like they don't want you. They don't want you to get over without them, which is the old school way. I don't know why they still going. That's why the morale in WWE is so low, because it's like a prison. That's what it seems like, especially with, like, how these wrestlers be saying their goodbyes when they finally get released. Like it's like they be breaking away for free. It's like they got freedom. That's crazy. But I don't see why there's no reason why they wouldn't do the Twitch. It's a great way to get over with the fans, to keep your fan base, especially if you're not on TV on a weekly basis. But to Jungle Boy, MJF, and Darby Allin, they the features of the company right now. In the next like 3 to 5 years, they might be having the world titles one time, at least have it a couple times. I can see Darby Allin have gaining the title within the next year or two. On the road he on. MJF too. Tony Khan already said he's one of the best heels, if not the best heel that they got in the company, which he do play that role great. Yeah, Tony Khan, he knew what he was doing. And that shows that Adam Cole, like I said, he was running NXT. So the disrespect that Vince McMahon basically showed him when they was trying to draw up his contract, that's just to show you he don't watch NXT. But that just to show you when he went in and had that match with Kyle O'Reilly, his mind was already made up. When he knew that his contract was like he had like 30 days left or whatever, and he once he did a handshake deal, that way he could probably stay active and ain't gotta sit at home for 30 days or whatever. He knew what he was doing. His mind was already made up that he was out the company. But what a way to go out, because every match he had, he didn't produce no bad matches, so that's a great thing. But he knew he was out. His mind was made up a while ago.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that when they drew up the contract for the tail end, just so he could put over Kyle O'Reilly, I think he specified a non-compete clause. So that was really good for Adam Cole, just knowing that he had the leverage. He wants to put Kyle O'Reilly over, but he doesn't want to go through the 30-day wait. It's better to capitalize on him while he's hot. So I do like that he had that in his head. And when you put it like that, you might be right. Like he might have already known, because like he said the decision was fairly easy. So he probably knew when he figured out how much time he really had left. He probably made that decision like, yeah, I'm going over here to AEW. I can be with my friends. I can be with my fiance. They are not going to just have me out here doing nothing. So you might be right. He might have had that decision in his mindset going forward. But like you, I do appreciate that he put over Kyle O'Reilly, because the third one that they had at TakeOver, it didn't really live up to the first two. But it's Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. You know you're going to get a great match regardless.
All right.
Next up, we have Bryan Danielson. He spent a couple of minutes up here with Tony Khan. He was saying that he was excited to be in AEW because it's new and it's fresh. He referenced his life, his married life with his kids, saying that when you become married and have kids, your life becomes a little bit tame. He said he loves it, but he needs one part of his life to be a little bit wild. What did you think about that first thought from Bryan Danielson?
I kind of heard some of the reason why he left WWE, and for what I had heard, he basically he wanted to work with younger talent and other promotions, actually gain that exposure of being a traveling wrestler and everything. So I don't blame him on that, because if you think about it, that's the thing to do right now. Like what John Moxley did when he left, he wrestled on AEW. He go there in New Japan, wrestle over there, gaining titles and everything. I don't blame him. It's the time to do it, especially you've been cleared, and WWE is basically gonna hold you back because they taking it easy on you. You telling them, I'm 100%. I'm clear. I can go 100%, but they keep trying to hold you at 50%. So you gonna go where you gonna have that freedom at. So after listening to that point, I wasn't as upset with his departure from WWE.
Definitely agree. I did hear something as well about where he was. I think he said he was just tired of being stifled in WWE. He wanted to go out and do other things. He said that he's here to show the world what Elite really looks like. He mentioned Punk, saying Punk had come in and said, like, I wanted to help the young guys, all that kind of stuff. No, I'm going to kick their fucking heads in. What do you think about this attitude from Bryan Danielson?
We about to get that heel Bryan that he was in WWE when he was we had the eco-friendly. He was just a heel guy. We about to get that Daniel Bryan. Well, Bryan Danielson. I'm sorry. We about to get that one, because I can see it though. That's like we already said this last episode. It's always seemed like wherever your past gimmick was, you coming in this company as the opposite. If you was a face at the last company, you coming in as a heel. If you was a heel at the last company, you a baby face. That's what it seemed like.
Well, wasn't Bryan babyface though when he left?
Yeah,
and he was face here.
Yeah, he was face at the press conference, but the way he talk about he gonna kick their face in and shit.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna lead into him being heel.
Okay, no, I get it. He mentions how everyone at AEW is more open and authentic. He also says that to say that that's not a knock on the place where he worked before. He mentioned WWE creative, and he said, I like just wrestling. Tony Khan interjected to say, even though Danielson doesn't want to mentor people and just wants to kick their asses, he's one of the best minds in the business, and everyone at AEW will learn from having him around. Let me ask you before I jump into the next part. What do you think about him saying that AEW is more open and authentic? And what do you think Bryan Danielson is going to add creatively and just his thoughts to the entire product?
So WWE, they wanted him to be a mentor and basically guide the younger talent. He wanted to wrestle. He already missed 2 years out of his wrestling career. And wrestling career, just sitting down for 2 years is really like 4 or 5. So he already missed some good years off of just sitting there. So now that he's clear, he wanted to wrestle. I get that. And WWE, they probably wasn't trying to hear none of that. So him being at AEW, their new company, they're more lenient, like more willing to listen and willing to actually give things a shot. So he's actually able to explore on characters and everything like that, and to explore on his heel gimmick to see how far he can take certain things and stuff like that too. So I mean, it's a good thing. He about to test his limits. I think he can still go. He probably gonna be looking better than he ever have before, and everything. He probably in the best shape of his life. We ain't seen him yet, but if he wrestle tonight or whatever, we gonna see.
Absolutely. Bryan Danielson mentioned the Brody Lee tribute show and said that was a turning point in Bryan's thinking about AEW. He says, the final decision, honestly, was I started thinking about things. And WWE was so gracious with me as far as the offer they gave me. They were going to let me go do some different stuff outside. But sometimes, I hate to say this, Vince and I have a great relationship and I love him. I do. Sometimes he's overprotective of me. And I want to be able to push my limits. That's one of the things that I love about this is the physicality of what we do out there and being able to push my limits. and being able to do that here in a safe manner is one of the things that drew me here. So let me first start off by just saying this, and then I'll hand it over to you. It's amazing when people come in, they say that the Brody Lee incident, the Brody, or not incident, the Brody Lee passing, the Brody Lee tribute show, it's always something that's referenced to Brody Lee. CM Punk put it over that the news of Brody Lee being in the hospital, it never left AEW. The fans and everybody else found out Brody passed when he passed. It was never leaked. Not even to like a Dave Meltzer or Brian Alvarez. It was never leaked. What do you think about that? And what do you think about WWE's gracious offer and Bryan Danielson still walking away?
First of all, WWE, one thing different that AEW did, they actually made it about him. They gave the respect to his family. They wanted that private time with him, so they gave that respect to him. WWE would have made that into some type of storyline, either before or after. We all know they did worse. WWE would have got leaked out if it was with WWE. We all know that. But it just, the simple fact is how they handled that situation is what, turning on a lot of wrestlers to go over to that company, because they see the BS that be going on behind the scenes of WWE. But I mean, everything is in their favor right now. They got the hot hand. We about to see what they can do with all these talent and everything. Because so far, from what I had seen, AEW, they're doing pretty good on spacing out the talent. They booking so far. They're doing pretty good with it.
Before I move on, what do you think about Vince McMahon overprotecting Daniel Bryan when he was there? My thing is, or Bryan Danielson when he was there, I think it's a good thing, because we know, if I'm looking at it from Vince's point, I'm saying that, hey, you lost 2 years. Like you said, 2 years of wrestling. I want to give you 4 plus some. So I can't have you out here taking all of these ridiculous bumps and pushing your limits, because you're very valuable to me. And I don't want you to lose any more time than what you already lost. What do you feel about, or what do you think about Vince McMahon overprotecting?
I get why Vince did what he did, because you think about the prior situations that WWE had to face, i.e. the Chris Benoit situation, Eddie Guerrero overdose, so forth and so forth. They got so many things on their belt. They didn't want him to go all the way out, and then a situation happened where he can be left paralyzed or something like that because he went too hard. Now that's on WWE hands and everything. So I get why he was being strict and being protective over him and not letting him do certain things. But Daniel Bryan's a grown man. He make his own decisions too. He feel like he can go 100%. He can go 100%.
Definitely agree. He put over the just the excitement of AEW. Says he wants to wrestle in Japan and Mexico, but because of COVID, of course, it isn't safe. He said he's not too focused about the ratings. His focus is on creating excellent professional wrestling. Let me ask you this. Do you think Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, do you think those 3 are the needle movers, or do they need maybe a couple more big name stars to really get it going?
I won't say it's time the Fiend. It's a wrap, because the Fiend, they're gonna get him his own creative freedom. He'll have full creative control, and he gonna take this Fiend character and turn it up like 100. And yes, once they sign Bray, it's a wrap. I think that's gonna be the one that's gonna take AEW right over. He gonna have his own little like brew meets the the ministry combined in one.
I can definitely see that. I don't want that to be his first thing. I would want him to come in as the cult leader. I've said it on numerous occasions. Have him come in as the cult leader and immediately thrust him into a storyline with the Dark Order. And the Dark Order right now is imploding. So I think that's what they're holding out for. So we'll see about that. Maybe Hangman Adam Page helps the Dark Order get back together, but there's still that little bit of tension. And we insert Bray Wyatt into the situation to try to persuade, or that's how we debut him. We debut him when Adam Page wins the AEW championship. One last thing that I want to ask you, I'm calling Daniel Bryan Danielson said this, and then we'll move on to what Ruby Soho had to say, because she was just gut-wrenching just hearing her talk. Bryan Danielson says, you show excellent professional wrestling to anyone and they will enjoy it, because excellent professional wrestling is fucking awesome. True statement?
Of course.
I thought so. I thought it was just funny when he said it, because you can literally show excellent professional wrestling to anybody and they'll find something that they liked about it. Last up, Salamander, we have Ruby Soho. She was gut-wrenching to listen to. This is one of the things that she said. Tonight was definitely about the feat that I had before me, which was quite a few incredibly talented women that I have studied for a very long time and have been a fan of myself for a very long time. I knew I was up against a lot to get this opportunity, having been through this very, very, very long, almost 11-year journey to get here, to get to this moment, to get to the legitimate pinnacle of my entire wrestling career, which is tonight, and gain the opportunity at the AEW Women's Championship is the most special and significant thing in the world to me. And I don't plan on wasting any time, because it's been 11 years. I'm going to hit the ground running, and I'm coming for Britt Baker, whether she likes it or not. 11 years, Salamander, she was on TV for 5. Why in the fuck is this the highlight of her career?
Because WWE don't know how to book. Look, I said it last episode, or the episode before that one, 2 episodes ago. Booking. It's all about the booking. They ain't book her right in 5 years. They was off to the right track when they had her and Mandy Rose debut, or Liv Morgan debut with Paige, but it failed. No, when they first came up with the Riot Squad and everything, they failed. It's WWE fault and everything. They could have pushed her singles when they broke them up, but they didn't. It's WWE. They always kept her as a heel. They never try to, switch up her character any. They gave everybody else character changes, but kept her the same. So they really didn't give her any effort. But just to tell you that the fact that she was 5 years and WWE never got cheered, came to AEW, got to receive a huge pop. She ain't going nowhere. She gonna sign like an 8-year contract with them. She ain't going nowhere.
I'm glad you mentioned the pop, because she spoke on that as well, saying, honestly, I have never experienced anything like that before. To have people have that anticipation for me to come out, and for people to want that, and for people to get it and get excited, is something that I think all of us in the wrestling industry thrive for. That moment of just being accepted and wanted and welcomed to this new incredible company that you work for, that's always a scare.
Just the fact that she went 5 years in WWE, didn't hear nothing but boos, came to the next company and everybody in that arena is cheering for you. She ain't going nowhere.
Salamander, make it make sense to me. It's not clicking. That the pop when the Joker was announced, all you heard was Ruby Soho. She damn near got CM Punk level pops. The crowd went stupid. You saw her face. She was damn near in tears. She stopped. It's something. That top of the ramp must be very special because CM Punk stopped at the top and dropped to his knees, and you could see the tears filling up his eyes. Ruby Riott stopped and really took it in. Couldn't believe what she was hearing. Why is that? Why is it that WWE is supposed to be the place, the top? The top. It's the very top. It's why? Make it make sense, please.
And the fact that she ain't even from Chicago, she from Michigan, and she received that type of pop. So that lets you know that they really behind her.
I just find it.
It's about time though. She getting the respect that she need.
Salamander, I just find it so hard to understand. This is Ruby Riott was over with Liv Morgan. This could have been a tag team for that trash ass women's tag division in which Natalya and Tamina has lost 4 consecutive championship contenders matches. This could have been a team you could have had. Her and Liv Morgan. Salamander, please make it make sense. The more and more I think about it, the more and more upset I get. Why? Answer me this. Why didn't she feel accepted in WWE? Why didn't she feel wanted? Why is it that when the superstars come over, they talk about how welcoming AEW is? They talk about how warm and inviting it is. Why is that?
You want to know why? And this is going to lead into the last segment too. She felt like that because of mismanagement. The same reason why Bronson Reed said the same thing. He was mismanaged. They made their legends feel disrespected. Like they don't even want to come back. So just imagine what they're doing to the people who signed to them. Like I said, the morale's at an all-time low. They see everything going over there in New Japan and AEW. They were like, man, I want to go over there. You see, that's what everybody heading towards. Kevin Owens, he about to leave beginning of the year. He gonna go over to AEW. I guarantee. It's gonna be man. We witnessing the downfall to WWE. But my question to you, KB, what promotion you think Bronson Reed gonna sign to since he's officially a free agent starting at midnight?
I would love to see Bronson Reed in Impact. They got a team over there led by this guy named Fala Bala. And I think they could run roughshod together over that Impact Tags division. Impact Wrestling has a lot of great tag teams. I wouldn't want to see them just thrust Bronson Reed to the top because he's a WWE guy, but definitely start him off in that tag team division and let him and Fala Bala run roughshod over it for a little bit. And then maybe we move him on to the X Division championship. Or if they were really wanting to test the waters, they put him in there immediately against I forgot his nickname, but Josh Alexander. I want to say they call him the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. That boy is cold. And he could main event any company.
You don't think there's any chance of him going to AEW?
I mean, there's a small chance, but I honestly don't see him getting the proper exposure that he deserves. You got to think. AEW just brought in Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, and they were at the top of the company.
Yeah, their hands pretty full right now. All right, guys, what you think about today's episode. Let us know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.